You're watching Alaska's news source.
All we can do at this point is still hope and pray.
I'm just going to miss everybody I knew, and I knew every face on that plane.
Tonight, remembering the people who died in a Bering Air crash. A pilot and 9 passengers did not survive. Our team of reporters are covering this for us tonight. The recovery efforts are now underway. Tonight, memorials and gatherings are underway across the state. Johnson Kuhn begins our team coverage with where the investigation heads now. Johnson.
The NTSB will play a major role in this investigation moving forward. After we learned today, the Coast Guard said the plane experienced a sudden drop about 40 minutes after taking off. We've learned that their administrator is heading to Alaska as part of the investigation. This is the Coast Guard picture many have seen by now. The Bering airplane found approximately 34 miles southeast of Nome. We know 9 adults and the pilot did not survive. While 3 bodies have been recovered, the Coast Guard says while they think the remaining 7 bodies are inside the plane, they say the plane's wreckage make it inaccessible. During a joint news conference, a Coast Guard lieutenant commander talked about the challenging conditions.
The air temperature in the vicinity of the last known position is about 3 degrees. The sea temperature, depending on the status of the ice, is about 29 degrees. And what we're having is mixed ice conditions. So what we're calling shore ice, where it's not necessarily entirely firm, but not entirely broken up either.
We will follow the NTSB administrator's visit to Alaska and keep you updated on the investigation. Johnson Kuhn, Alaska's news source.
For the first time, we are seeing this video. It comes from Nome in Nome. This is what crews were up against looking for that plane. Here you can see a U.S. Coast Guard Jayhawk on the tarmac at Alaska Army National Guard's Army Aviation Operating Building in Nome. And this video from Nome today shows how those conditions quickly change for those involved in that search. So let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Mr. Fry. And the conditions we saw yesterday, now much different today. Recovery efforts, of course, are underway. Melissa, you say the weather will change again.
Yeah, such a contrast. We've seen what's happened in the 24 hours that have just passed. In the next 24 hours, we're going to see a quick change like that once again. Now, I want to show you a satellite imagery zoomed in over the region. Yesterday, those overcast skies clearing overnight, revealing the ice conditions below, which yesterday we couldn't see that at all. But again, today, now you can actually see that ice moving below. Looking closer at that, this shows you literally the surface of the sea ice. What you see there in white across Norton Sound, that is ice. And you can see, even though it is relatively solid, as we've heard, there's still those cracks, still places of open water even within that. Now, it is 14 degrees right now. Those winds have started to increase at about 15 miles per hour this evening. So crews working in the area, they're going to see those winds increasing through the night into the day tomorrow as this next area of low pressure pushes in from the south. In fact, we already have winter weather advisories in effect for Nome starting Saturday night and continuing into Sunday as this storm lifts to the north. So overnight tonight, those temperatures will hold in the teens for the most part. We'll see those winds right about 15 to 20 miles per hour. But as that storm lifts north, I do expect those winds to reach as high as 40 miles per hour heading into Sunday, along with another round of snow and rain on the way. Rebecca?
And behind that recovery, there are people who died. Let's start in Unalakleet. Georgina Fernandez tells us how people are coming together.
Rebecca, people in Unalakleet tell me all this is still raw and fresh as they continue to process the plane crash and its aftermath. One well-known local family is making comfort food. The Hansons own Peace on Earth, a local restaurant in Unalakleet. They've been making lots of pizza today, wanting to provide comfort food. They've been doing that kind of thing for years when we covered them during things like the Iditarod. Right now, Nick Hansen told me it's all about providing food for the community events happening tonight at the school and the church.
Last night, when everything kind of hit the fan, my dad had some pizzas on the line and was just kind of making pizzas and bringing them over there and making sure that there was food for the staff. They were out there until 2 in the morning, so it was just us being on call when we could.
Many also know Hansen from his appearance on America Ninja Warrior. He said he's heard from people across the country checking up on his family. And for those who need help, a spokesperson from Norton Sound Health Corporation is also offering support lines for people to call right now to to have access also to counselors.
On behalf of my fellow Nomites, I extend our collective condolences and support to the families and loved ones of the passengers and pilot, and others in our Big Alaska family are also impacted by this tragic occurrence.
And now to Nome, where the plane never made its scheduled landing. Olivia Nordike's been watching a news conference from Nome. Olivia, that was a very emotional moment.
Rebecca, Nome's mayor is one of several local leaders we heard speak about how the close-knit community is supporting each other.
God, I just ask that you comfort those who mourn, who are devastated and overwhelmed. While we can't turn back time, please give us all the needed strength to use each moment we have in the future very wisely. Hug your people tonight, tightly and often.
This evening, Nome is holding a multi-faith vigil at Old St. Joe's Church, where they're sharing time together to process the events in the last 24 hours and gather in prayer for all affected. Olivia Nordike, Alaska's news source.
Governor Mike Dunleavy expressing heartbreak over the crash. Now, since we spoke with him this afternoon, the plane has been found. But before that, during our conversation, the governor said he is praying for the families and talked about that airline route. He used to live on the west coast of Alaska. He understands people are concerned over the crashes over the last few weeks, but he says Alaska relies on air transportation, and he doesn't see that changing.
Given the amount of people that fly, the amount of planes that are in the air, it is an amazingly, I think, safe industry when you look at it. I still think, and I think the research would show that the chances of being injured is greater in a car, driving in a car, than it is flying a plane.
Now, after it was confirmed the plane wreckage was found and that all 10 people on board are believed to have died, we did reach back out to the governor's office for additional comments. He posted on an updated statement on his Facebook page, which says, in part, "We are grateful to the search teams who worked tirelessly to locate the aircraft. I ask all Alaskans to keep those affected in their thoughts and prayers." Our coverage continues live right now on our website and mobile app. We will be right back.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
The Yukon Quest Alaska is still happening. 2 mushers remain on the trail. John Thompson has been following the race and gets us up to speed.
Well, this time yesterday, we had our Yukon Quest Alaska winner, and since then, other mushers have crossed the finish line. Last night at 7:41, Josie Shelley and 10 dogs made it into Tok in second place. And Shelley said that the 550-mile run was an excellent learning experience for both her and her dogs.
There was a lot of challenges as far as like the river, some of the wind and jumble ice and stuff. So obviously that's tough, but at the same time, it's a highlight to me as a musher because of the dogs. Right. I mean, just them learning and just my leader, Ferd, in the end, he barks going up Eagle Summit, just encouraging the team when we get into wind or any tough situation, same thing. He just starts barking and gets jazzed, so that's a highlight.
And just shy of 4 hours later, Laurel Eklund and Jonah Bacon finished the race back-to-back. Bacon says that he thoroughly enjoyed his bonding time with Eklund. Eklund taken aback by the natural beauty of the trail.
What was your favorite part of the race?
The Yukon.
Yukon? Yeah, how come?
Because it's the Yukon. It was gorgeous.
Well, congratulations.
Now, in conversation with champion Jeff Dieter last night, he told me that while he appreciated the beauty on the trail as well, he was also more about the history of the quest.
I think probably the coolest part of the race for me was running the Yukon River and getting to experience some pretty challenging trail, but also seeing some really, quintessential quest checkpoints, visiting Trout Creek, mushing through Slavens, staying at some of the BLM cabins. You know, I've heard about since I was a kid listening to the quest. It was pretty neat to be able to see those areas finally.
Now, for more of my conversation with champion Jeff Dieter, you can check out the In-Depth Alaska podcast wherever you get your podcasts. John Thompson, Alaska's news source.
And here's that leaderboard. As of 6 p.m., Jeff Dieter took first yesterday. There are 2 people remaining on the trail, the finishing line in Tok. Mushers are getting ready for the Iditarod.
It's just a very symbolic tree that everybody passes under.
Still ahead, the replacement to the race's iconic arch is coming together.
And all the latest on that storm moving across the Bering Sea tonight. Again, new winter weather advisories in effect. I'll have that weekend forecast. Welcome back. We, of course, have been watching the weather and conditions very closely across Norton Sound. And I want to show you the latest conditions there, again, as crews and teams are still headed across this area now with the recovery efforts. Winter weather advisories are in effect, but not for another 24 hours. Another round of snow and wind is on the way. But I want to show you this satellite image. This is cloud cover that we saw yesterday. Overnight, those clouds clearing, revealing the ice conditions below. So yesterday, that visibility at 0 at times. That was certainly the case from above. But those clouds completely clearing with those blizzard conditions passing, again, revealing that ice surface, which we can see the ice from satellite. This is from space, which is pretty incredible. But you can see here south of Nome, the ice surface is pretty intact here. They call this 9/10 coverage, where it is, again, just a few cracks in the area. But these lead lines, that is some areas of open water. There's more open water to the south. But as this ice moves, it's pretty dynamic. So that can kind of shift a little bit. They're still going to, of course, be dealing with that in the coming days. Temperatures right now, 14 in Nome, still clear. Again, that storm doesn't get there for about another 24 hours. Seeing the rain down into the Aleutians with warm temperatures there and clear and dry in Fairbanks tonight. But it was fresh snow that fell across the area earlier today. Want to show you video of what it has looked like across the interior. This is where our winter wonderland is. Look at that. Heavy snow pushing across the area. Beautiful blue sky now, but definitely seeing consistent snow. Now we're going to see a break. I don't expect any additional snow to move across the interior for the next week. So enjoy what you have. You'll get some time to get that shoveled and cleaned up. Now down into south central, temperatures in the mid-teens, 17 right now in Anchorage, 23 in Juneau. And again, we have clear skies again from the slope all the way to the Pacific down into southeast. And as you head out to the Bering Sea, but that is going to change at least for the western side of the state. Ahead of this next storm system, area of low pressure center just to the south of Adak, bringing those wind gusts to 60 miles per hour today, and Adak up to 62 in Cold Bay. We're going to start to see those winds increasing across the Bering Sea, and we're going to see moisture pushing in from the south with this storm as well. So looking ahead, again, it is all rain with warm temperatures in the Aleutians tonight, but as that moves north, switches to snow as you head here further north toward St. Lawrence Island into the YK Delta region. We'll see a bit of a wintry mix. Here we are Sunday morning, and we're seeing that wintry mix pushing across Norton Sound. This is going to impact visibility again in the area. We're going to see the winds increasing at this time, gusting to about 40 miles per hour. That'll linger through the day on Sunday. Even seeing chances for some of those showers lingering into Monday. But again, that storm really only impacting the western side of the state. A little moisture into Kodiak and eventually into Homer and Seward, but nothing in Fairbanks or in Anchorage. Southeast, you're holding on to sunny conditions in Juneau tomorrow, high of 31 after dropping into the teens overnight. But that snow is headed on the way to Sitka and into Ketchikan. It'll be light, but some snow showers through the morning, and then those high temperatures do get back above freezing in the second half of the day. Back to mostly sunny, dry conditions across the interior. 10 below tonight in Fairbanks with a high of 7 tomorrow, dropping to 35 below tonight. And for Yukon, we'll also still see those temperatures significantly below 0 on the slope, starting to see increasing clouds across the region. Again, still mostly clear for one more day in Kotzebue, Nome, Galena, and Unalakleet. We will see increasing clouds, though, and you can see those gusts up to 45 miles per hour already tomorrow in Unalakleet. We'll see the snow and the wind pushing across St. Lawrence Island. Light snow there in Bethel. Still seeing that wintry mix here across the Aleutians. And we'll still see some breezy winds, not as high as it was today, but again, still pretty breezy with gusts there to about 40 miles per hour. We'll see a bit of that wintry mix pushing into Kodiak, but otherwise still dry on the Kenai Peninsula, still dry across Prince William Sound into the valley. Temperatures still in those single digits overnight. Highs will be in the low to mid 20s tomorrow. Back to 22 in Anchorage, pretty much rinsing and repeating from what we saw today. A little bit more cloud cover heading into Sunday. Next week, though, it's quiet, mid-20s during the day, teens overnight, and for the first time in about 2 weeks, by Friday, we have chances for some snow back in Anchorage. Rebecca?
The Iditarod sled dog race starts in 3 weeks. It takes mushers all year and then some to get ready for the trail. And they all have one goal: pass under the burled arch in Nome at the finish on Front Street. Eric Soul visited with a busy musher whose race is already underway.
You work on that end, I'll get started on this end.
Ramey Smith is racing the clock.
We're gonna mill the face.
Busy preparing for the 2025 Iditarod sled dog race. Smith's Iditarod pedigree is strong, starting with his parents. His father ran in the very first Iditarod.
My dad was the first musher out of the chute. My mom was one of the first 2 women to finish Iditarod.
And there are his own accomplishments.
I've run the Iditarod about 28, 27 times.
A true veteran of the race. In his sled bag are 2 junior Iditarod wins and 12 Iditarod top 10 finishes. And in this year's race, he must be the first to know. It's not optional, because he's not racing a team of dogs up the trail. He's got to get this very large chunk of wood to Front Street before any other mushers arrive.
This is the arch.
He's building the Iditarod's new burled arch. It needs to be in place to welcome finishers to Nome.
It's just a very symbolic tree that everybody passes under on the end of their journey.
The previous arch collected its red lantern this past spring when it collapsed into a pile of firewood. Then Smith was chosen to build the new arch.
My life is built around logs and log homes and building homes for people.
With a background in the race and a background in logs.
I learned log building from my dad.
He now has less than a month to get to Front Street. Finding the perfect tree took the most time.
Well, we've been looking for it since about last May, so that's about, I don't know, 8 months roughly. There were permits that had to be done to get it out of the forest.
Turns out you can't just order one of these from Amazon.
It's really been an epic effort of teamwork. The people down in Seward helped me find the tree. We walked through the forest multiple times.
Eventually, they found this tree, the perfect burled tree.
This tree here was, it was nearing the end of its life cycle. If it had been any more years, it'd be down on the 4th floor.
With its own history.
So this is very roughly 15 inches, so this tree is about 200 years old.
Now becoming part of Iditarod history.
I know a lot of my friends are going to pass under this arch.
It just has to make it to Nome first.
It's a race, right?
Eric Soul, Alaska's news source.
That is so very cool. And the burled arch is now off to dry by a wood stove. Then it will have a lettering added. Once completed, it will be flown to Nome, where it will take its place as the iconic symbol of the Iditarod. And when we return, a new program that offers homeless seniors tiny houses has gotten started.
In my life until this all happened to me.
We hear from a man who is getting help from the program.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
A project to move seniors experiencing homelessness into tiny houses is underway in Anchorage. Lauren Maxwell toured the program called In Our Backyard for a closer look.
Yeah, and welcome to the village. We got a fire pit. We have a chalkboard with announcements of things that are going on.
Right now, 3 of the 6 tiny homes in the parking lot of Central Lutheran Church are occupied. And tiny they are. There's room for a bed and a little bit more. But for Mark Henderstein,
I'm just happy here.
It's enough. He's thrilled to be out of the shelter.
It's pretty scary to be homeless, I would imagine.
Yeah, but I'm pretty resilient. I'm pretty adaptive.
Residents moved in just a few weeks ago, including this one.
Pretty awesome, isn't he, Thor?
Thor's owner didn't want to be on camera, but he told us he's grateful to have a place where he can live with his pet.
My life would be, wouldn't be half as good without him.
The head of the nonprofit says there are lots of rules residents have to follow, designed to keep them and the neighborhood safe.
The bulletin board, microwave fridge, and this is what we put extra food.
She says so far there have been no complaints, just lots of help in the way of donated goods and supplies.
So that's been amazing. All of the community support.
She says helping people become stable is bringing positive change.
They're already being more responsible. They're already taking care of themselves better than they were before. They have hope. And I think that's huge.
Measuring it that way, the tiny village is already a success. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
And right now we are working on an update to our top story. Stay with us.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Now back to our top story. The Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium has named 2 of the people who died in the Northwest Alaskan plane crash yesterday. Here are their names. ANTHC says that Roan was a utility operations technician with the Rural Energy Team, and Cameron was utility operations specialist for the Tribal Utility Support Team. ANTHC says they were going to Unalakleet to service a heat recovery system. We will continue to update this story as it comes in from the next part of the evening. And we'll take a look real fast at Melissa for a final look at the forecast.
Yeah, we are seeing, again, calm conditions in that area tonight. It was nice that it cleared out earlier today so that those recovery teams could get in there, and we will see clear conditions are going to come.
Updates on our website. Thank you.